Before I jump into this video, I want to remind you that you can also get your travel photography fix by following me over at Instagram. What's up? I'm travel photographer Brendan Vanson of BrendansAdventures.com, and we're going on location to Havasu Falls. So the hike into the Havasu Canyon is quite a tough trek, to be honest, especially when you have to carry all your camera gear. It's about 10 miles to get to Havasu Falls, and around Havasu Falls there's a lot of things to see. There's the village of Supai about 8 miles in. You've got Mooney Falls, Navajo Falls, Beaver Falls. You've got a lot of water, and the color is unreal. But like I said, it's a bit tough. You're basically climbing down into an offshoot of the Grand Canyon, and it's pretty straight down at the start, and then it flattens out. I've done the trek about 3 years ago for the first time, and I only have 2 days to do it this time, which is tight. It means that I'm going to have to shoot into the canyon, shoot Havasu Falls and Navajo Falls and things like that evening, and then the next morning cover Mooney Falls and some of the other waterfalls on the way out. It's a lot of hiking in 2 days. It's going to be about 24 miles if you count the back and forth between the waterfalls and things like that, 22 to 24 miles, or about 50 something kilometers. So it's going to be serious, and I thought I would show you what I'm going to pack for this trek in case you're planning on doing a big backcountry hiking trek and want to pack some photography gear with you and you want to see how serious it gets. I'll show you what I'm packing right now. So laid out in front of me is all the gear that I'm going to be taking with me into the Havasu Canyon. As you can see, it's not that much. You've got to be quite versatile when hiking 20 some miles. Let's get into this gear by starting where you're probably most interested, and that's the photo gear. So on the hike, I'm going to be taking in 3 lenses with me. I'm going to be taking the 16 to 35, which is a super wide angle lens, and that's going to come in handy with the waterfalls, I'm sure, as well as the canyon. I'm going to be taking in the 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 as well, which I love. I love this lens so much. There's nowhere I don't go with it. I mean, even in situations I don't think I'm going to use it, I take it. I love it that much. I'm also going to be taking in the 50 millimeter f1.4, and I really didn't want to take this in because I don't see a lot of use for it there, but I was a little bit worried that the gap between 35 and 70 was going to be too much, and this could be a stopgap. Being a tiny little light lens like this, it doesn't take up that much weight anyway, so it's not really harmful to pack. I mean, when you got 30 pounds worth of gear, what's an extra half pound, right? On the 70 to 200, I've got my Canon 6D, and this is actually how I hike, with the 6D and the 70 to 200 on. I like to hike with my long lens on. I call it my action lens, and the reason is because this is the type of lens that you're going to need to capture something quickly. So if you're walking through a canyon and like a fox runs by, or a really colorful bird lands on a branch near you, or even a mule train with a local goes through the canyon, you're going to want to capture it fast, and you're going to want to probably capture it on the 70 to 200. You won't have time to switch lenses. Whereas with a landscape, if you come across a beautiful landscape or a waterfall, you've always got time to switch on your wider lens, because that thing is not going to go away on you. So I hike with my biggest lens, my longest lens, with the action lens on. So also with me, I've got a couple filters. I've got some ND filters to kind of stop down the light a little bit. You're going to need that with waterfalls to get that silky smooth look. I've also got some graduated ND filters, which I really don't think that I'm going to be using that much, because you're in canyons, you get all these crazy shadows, and if you use a grad ND filter, it doesn't work as well. I do have the filter holder as well that I'll be packing in. It's lightweight stuff, so it doesn't really matter too much. I've got 2 extra batteries I'll be packing with me. I can usually get a full day shooting out of one of these LPE6 batteries. I'm going to take 3 just in case. You can never have too many batteries, I don't think. Of course, I'm also going to be taking in my trusty 3-legged thing, Brian Blue tripod, which I love. This thing is so versatile. It stretches up to 7 feet high if I need it, or way down low to the ground if I need it down there too. It's not too heavy either, as it's made with carbon fiber. It is a little bit hefty, but it's not so bad for such a versatile tripod. It's a great thing, and this goes with me almost everywhere as well. I'll also be taking with me my GoPro. Although I really don't think I'm going to be using it much. I might get into the water with it a little bit there below the falls. I might shoot some time lapse with it as well. But again, it's just a light product, a small product, so it really doesn't take up too much space in my bag. Okay, so now on to the camping and trekking gear. This is my sleeping bag. It's a -7 rated sleeping bag. This is a Cosmic Down by Kelty, and it's served me for like 3 or 4 years now. Actually, I bought this last time I was in the Havasu Canyon 3 years ago. And last time I was there, it was -7, and I was right on the -7, and I was freezing the entire night. It's only supposed to get to -3 tomorrow night, so hopefully I'll be a little bit warmer this year. Helping me with the warmth should be this. I've got a Thermarest sleeping mat that's self-inflating, and it packs down. It's really, really lightweight as well. Last time I slept right on the ground, which was a terrible decision because you have nothing to insulate yourself between the ground. So I'm definitely packing this with me this time. I have a new tent as well that I've just used a couple times. It's a Half Dome 2+. Of course, I'm hiking with somebody else. I'm traveling with my partner as usual, and that means that I need a 2+ tent. If you've ever gone tenting, you know a one-person tent is tiny. And if you have a bunch of gear, there's no room for the gear in that tent. If you're hiking with 2 people or you're traveling with 2 people, a 2-person tent's never enough. I found this 2+ tent by REI, which is fantastic. It's way longer. It's about 7 feet long, which gives us enough room to put all our gear down at our feet or above our head, which is awesome. I absolutely love it. And it's a little bit on the heavy side for a backpacking tent, but it is great, and I cannot complain about that at all. Of course, I got to take a head torch. Do not forget things like this, not only for a backcountry trekking standpoint, but for photography, because if you decide to do some star photography, you can use the light to light up, you know, the tent, or to light up a tree or a cactus or a waterfall or anything like that. So a head torch or a good flashlight is a must when you're trekking. I bought these socks, the crazy socks. This is just one pair. They're that big in Canada for the -40 weather. I'm hoping they keep me warm at night. Toque, a good old Canadian toque. Actually, this is a Peruvian toque I bought in Peru. Take that with you. Some light gloves, some long underwear, and this is a tip for outdoor nature photographers. Buy blue or red or bright anything, because it stands out and it creates a beautiful contrast between the landscapes. So if you're wanting to put in yourself into nature photos, you need to get bright colors. And speaking of bright colors, just a week ago or so, or 2 weeks ago, I bought some brand new shoes, and check out how bright these are. I've already got them really dirty, but I don't hike in hiking boots. I hike in runners. These are Nike Free 5s runners, and I hike in these bad boys, and hopefully my feet will be okay. I hate hiking shoes. They're so big and bulky and heavy. I like lightweight, feet you wear style shoes. And of course, all the gear has to go somewhere, so I'll be packing my Nanu backcountry bag. I got this a couple months ago. You can see my review on the channel if you're interested. But this is essentially a bag built for this exact purpose. This is for backcountry photographers. So it's 50 liters in total from top to bottom. And in here, it's got insert for another bag, which is always hard to get out, but bear with me for a second. And inside the second bag is like the pouch for your photo gear. So in this pouch you can hold like a 70 to 200, 2 or 3 lenses, and even 2 bodies. It's quite big. And if you really, really want, it comes out like a little mini backpack. And if you want to use the entire bag here for other gear, like camping gear and things like that, you can always strap this onto the front, although it looks a bit dorky. And then once you get it all packed away, it looks a little bit something like this. A lot of gear, and I know I can show it to you, but I can't let you feel it. I can't let you lift it. I wish I could. I wish you could pack all this gear in for me, but I gotta go. So it's just after 9 a.m. and we're at the start of the hike at the Havasu Canyon. We've been up since 4 in the morning. We left Phoenix at 4:30, made good time to get here at 9. But people, this is why you should not be giving up your photos for free. This is why you shouldn't be giving them up for cheap. Getting good photos takes work. Sometimes it includes waking up at 4 in the morning, driving 5 hours, and then hiking 11 miles to Havasu Falls. So we've got 10 miles to the village of Supai, which is the last town in the United States to get its mail by mule. So they still deliver the US post here by muleback, which is really cool. And then it's about another mile or 2 miles after that to get to Havasu Falls itself. There's lots of other cool things along the way, like this beautiful canyon we have behind us. There's a little narrow slot canyon, as well as some other waterfalls like Navajo Falls and Beaver Falls. So we'll see all that stuff on the way. Let's get at it. Okay, so after a full day hiking, we made it to Havasu Falls, and check this place out. It is unreal. We're up here just above the falls, and this is the classic photo. This is the classic image people take of Havasu Falls. But personally, I actually really like the views from down below, right in the water. And usually the water temperatures are quite nice, so we're gonna take our socks and shoes off, hike around right at the bottom of the waterfall, and get some images down there before the sun sets. So after hiking the full 10 to 12 miles into Havasu Falls in the campground here, we got set up in this really cool location, but it is literally cool here. It was about -3, -4 last night, and it was cool. But we're off again today. We're only doing this trip 2 days, 1 night. If I was to recommend it to you, I would say do 2 nights here, or else you're just not gonna have enough time to do and see and shoot everything you want to. We shot Havasu Falls last night, of course. Today we're gonna go down the canyon a little bit farther and go to Mooney Falls. And then on our way out, we're gonna stop at some other falls along the way, back through the village and then back to the parking lot some 10 miles away. So hopefully we get out of this canyon before dark, but let's get shooting again. So behind me we have Mooney Falls, and I know the hike is called the Havasu Falls hike, but this is by far my favorite waterfall on the entire journey. It's almost or double the size of Havasu Falls. It photographs beautifully no matter what the light is. We're shooting like right into the upcoming sunrise, and it's phenomenal right now. What a perfect way to end this intense trip into the Havasu Canyon. So that's it from us here at Havasu Falls and the Havasu Canyon. It's been awesome, but it's been really busy. Again, I recommend 2 nights rather than pushing it the 1 night like we did. Also, I recommend coming off season. We're in January and it's cold. You have to struggle a little bit. You don't have to camp though. They have a lodge in town that's $145 a night, so you can do it then. But if you come in January, well, maybe early December, January, February, and early March before the US spring break happens, you might have this place all to yourselves like we do. We saw 2 other tourists that were staying up at the lodge yesterday, and that was it. The whole time we've been in the canyon, just us. In the summertime, July, August, I'm told that this campsite fills up and there's 300 sites here. So it gets busy. Come in the off season, but come here. It is awesome, and I'll catch you next time. Next on the road trip, we've got White Sands, New Mexico, and that is an awesome location. So let's get it. I'll catch you next time. Peace.